You won't believe it, but this letter actually caused such a huge commotion and uproar in town. The town's letters are basically prank 2.0, giving every resident a massive headache. The victim count surged to over 100, leaving the Home Secretary in despair. Some think Ross is innocent, while others doubt him, but Ross can't bear the gossip storm. So, he went to Officer Moss for help, the only one in the precinct who thinks he's innocent. Those letters are written in such fancy prose that only someone well-educated could pull it off, totally different from Ross' handwriting. This has blown up so much that Moss predicts Ross might face a year of hard labour, and she risks losing custody of Nancy all while they have just 10 days until trial. They must redouble their efforts to swiftly uncover the truth, and within just a matter of days thereafter, Edith's house unexpectedly received yet another mysterious letter. Edith's mum read the letter and went heart attack alert. Edith rushed to find a doctor, but it was too late to save her. While confirming the autopsy, Moss played a clever card, getting Edith to sign the autopsy report. The handwriting was a total match for the anonymous letter. Edith's mom's funeral was held at the church, and all the townsfolk came to pay their respects, while Officer Moss handed over Edith's notes to the sheriff. The sheriff took it very seriously, and private investigators flocked to join the case. But, of course, Moss' notebook wouldn't count as evidence during the trial since she's just a small-time woman officer. So, she secretly pursued her investigation, and the sheriff had no choice but to temporarily retire her. Moss kept telling herself she wanted to be a fair, good cop, but this little matter was exhausting her to the core. The next day, she found Gladys. With only 7 days until Ross' trial, they had to find evidence before then. They planned to closely monitor Edith, but she caught on pretty quickly. That night, Edith opened her secret stash in the room, filled with her own prank letters. After all those years of strict training from her dad, she realized deep down how much she admired Ross' carefree spirit. Soon after, Gladys received an anonymous letter, and the content left Ross completely stunned. After much effort, they finally traced Edith's route, secretly following her as she delivered her letter. In the end, they found out that the letter was not malicious but a sympathy note, which made all their effort go down the drain. Edith burst into laughter at this point and clumsily dropped another anonymous letter in the church mailbox. Ross and his daughter enjoyed ice cream at the beach, recognizing a familiar logo on the truck. Edith once said it was her childhood design, and the letters matched the handwriting from the anonymous letters. When Ross returned to the church at that moment, he didn't fly into a rage. Instead, he was in a state of confusion, hazily attempting to understand what Edith was actually planning. The day of the trial attracted loads of media and town folks, with Edith and her dad participating eagerly. Everyone was eager for the outcome, but Ross had an "I don't care" expression as the plaintiff's lawyer kicked things off with questions. He pulled out a list of victims, and Ross knew everyone on it. Things got awkward pretty fast. The plaintiff's lawyer kept grilling Ross about why he did it, and Ross went off the deep end, saying only a madman would write those letters. Next, the lawyer questioned Edith, who was thrilled that everyone was a servant of Christianity. He wanted Edith to read a note, but it was too out there, and she flat out rejected it. The plaintiff's lawyer had to awkwardly read it aloud, and laughter erupted in the courtroom. The judge had to yell stop to control this laugh riot. Next up was Ross' defense attorney, who whipped out a piece of Edith's note, and the handwriting looked like a glitter bomb exploded. The defense attorney produced 2 pieces of evidence. One was Edith's fancy letters, the other Ross' note from the bank, clearly different. Every malicious leftist matched Edith's notes, causing an instant buzz in the courtroom. This evidence blew everyone's minds. Even Edith didn't see it coming, and she became visibly flustered trying to explain. She began to speak incoherently and eventually sat down with a thud, feeling utterly embarrassed to the max. After both sides' lawyers wrapped up their questioning, the judge called for a recess while Edith's father chatted with the plaintiff's lawyer. When court resumed, the plaintiff's lawyer fired sharp questions at Ross, who insisted it was unrelated to the case. However, the plaintiff's lawyer wasn't buying it and pressed Ross about his family situation. The lawyer even checked Ross' birthplace and found no info on his marriage, hinting he might be lying. If that's the case, could Ross just be pulling a pity stunt to win over the townsfolk? You actually made up an imaginary husband who supposedly died in a fictional war story to gain sympathy from others for their wrongdoings. What would you do when your wife eventually confesses everything? The husband couldn't take it and stormed out of the court, with Dot and Nancy angrily following soon after. The trial wrapped up, and the judge and jury decided to announce the verdict on Monday, putting Ross under immense pressure. Even though Moss found Edith's handwriting, it couldn't be used as evidence in 1930s England as such a tragedy.